This is a tutorial for the Millikan oil drop experiment simulation. And I created this simulation to demonstrate the process of the experiment, not the actual exact numbers. And it's kind of a game. So to keep the numbers very easy, we're going to assume that you can see here, the acceleration of gravity is 1. And the distance or the separation of the two plates in the capacitor is just 1 meter. So we're normalizing them. And when you load up or when you reset the simulation, it makes the elementary charge some random integer between 1 and 10. So you can see every time I click it, you get some random value. So I'll reset it and we'll play this as I would play it with my students. You definitely want to have easy mode on. That shouldn't even be an option. It's actually impossible otherwise. And the idea is you can just you use the dial to increase the voltage until you get one of them to float. And I make them highlight quite bright yellow, so it's really obvious to pick one. So I'm trying to make this one float right here in the middle. And you can see my voltage is actually not high enough and it's still dropping. So this can actually be quite exacting to get the right voltage. And it may even... Okay, that's very close. It's still not quite right because that droplet is still dropping a tiny bit. So let me see if I can do better. And I actually kind of designed it to be difficult like this because it was difficult in real life. And this one is still dropping, so we're not going to get a perfect answer from this one. And if that happens, that's okay. Once you feel like you're close enough or it's really barely moving, you can click on it. And it will record the mass and it will record the voltage here. And you can use the mass, the voltage, the G being 1 and the D being 1 to get the charge on that oil droplet. Of course, we don't know if that's the result of 1 electron or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, but you will get a charge. And then you can adjust the voltage again to try and get a different one to float. So this is kind of a heavier one here in the middle. And once you get that one pretty stationary, you can click on that and you can get a new data point of mass and voltage. And you can use the equation to calculate that one's charge. And you can kind of keep going until you've done this 5 or 6 times. I think the table holds up to 5. And then once you've done that and you've got your charges, you know, maybe you get 6, 9, 12, and 3. So it's obvious that the elementary charge has to be 3. Now, I didn't do the calculations here, so I don't know what it is. But I got an answer of 6, so it probably means all the charges we would have gotten were multiples of 6. And once you're done with that, you can reset it and start again with a new elementary charge. So I hope you and your students find that interesting and fun.